knowing where you come from and then checking in with yourself and then moving forward to say, okay, this is where I'm going.
Hi, kings and queens. This is still Sharpn Steel.
Welcome back, kings and queens. We are here at the Sharpn Steel show, a place where black excellence meet black mediocrity.
You know the vibes.
Yeah.
Your boy, Mr. Love is Love. All right, family. If you didn't do it already, please hit that subscribe button. Whatever you take from us, you learn and you grow with it. Whatever we take from you, you learn and we grow with it as well. All right. Like, comment, and share, guys.
And today we're going to definitely introduce our wonderful queen herself. And while you introduce yourself as well, tell the people where they can find you every Monday at 6:30. Just in general, tell them you.
Okay, so hey everybody, my name is Maya. I teach Kemetic yoga, and follow me on Instagram at Oddless, ODDLESSS. Lots of content coming to you about Kemetic yoga and just realigning all that content. But check me out with Kemetic yoga classes every Monday at 6:30 p.m. at And Yoga Studios.
6:30 p.m. and Yoga Studios.
Yes.
All right? Get your mind right.
Today we definitely going to tap in really quick just about yoga. I definitely want to ask you, like, what is yoga to you? Like, if you had to define yoga, like, what is yoga to Maya?
Yes, to me, yoga is not a religion. I just wanted to get that out of the way. But yoga is just a way of being. It's just following the principles of balance,
Right.
Being grounded, knowing yourself, and realizing that everything around you is happening, but it doesn't have to affect you. So you're in this world, you are not of it necessarily. So I bring yoga with me when I wake up. I bring it when I'm washing my face, doing X, Y, Z. So it's just, yoga is everything. It's just a way of life for me.
Definitely. So that would you consider it? Because some people consider yoga as a religion.
Oh, Lord,
so do
no.
you consider it the way you live, the way you operate, self mastery, self growth?
Right.
I definitely agree.
So briefly explain the connection yoga has with like a person's ability to locate their center of peace as well as their purpose. Like what connection does yoga? How does yoga help fulfill a person to find their center of peace and their purpose?
So when you're starting off, in my classes personally, and just with my practice of yoga, I'm always doing breath. We're focusing on breath.
Right.
Because that's something in our lives that we can actually control. A lot of the times we can't control the things that are happening around us, so we're able to focus on breath. We're able to align with ourselves. Breathing just simply calms you down. It's calming the mind down. It's calming your respiratory system down. All your stresses, all your anxieties, breathed out in a sense. So you're finding your center and you're able to just be present. And that's just what it is. Exactly. It's that. Taking a breath.
Yeah.
I felt that. I felt that. Yeah, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, in order for you to, I guess, like, not feel stuck, you know what I'm saying? You just got to just keep going and just focus on what you need to focus on in this moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you start focusing on everything in the world, then you just start getting stuck. And then, who knows, you goddamn stop breathing.
Your breath is up here. You wonder why you stress, and it's like, oh, when you relax, when you settle in, oh, the world is a better place. The world is brighter. It's nicer. Calm down.
Able to breathe more. Yeah, able to breathe more.
Yes.
I like that.
I definitely want to dig into is there specific kinds of yoga? I know you practice Kemetic yoga, and we're going to definitely speak about just the indigenous Africans in our history. But what kinds of yoga helped you the most, if you don't mind asking? Answering.
I always consider Kemetic yoga being my foundational set of yoga, because at the end of the day, like I always say, yoga is yoga. There's so many different kinds of yoga. There's vinyasa, then there's yin, then there's hot yoga. There's so many types of yoga, but yoga is yoga. Specifically with Kemetic yoga, I said yoga like 10, 20 times now. Sorry. But it's a foundation for me because I see myself in it. It's almost like looking in the reflection and you're like, oh, I can see myself. That's beautiful. That's nice. But imagine one day you look in the mirror and you saw somebody who looked nothing like you and wasn't you, period. So Kemetic yoga is my reflection of self. it is my connection to my ancestors and to those around me, of course. It is me taking up space and feeling comfortable to be in that space, because so many times I've been in yoga classes where I'm like, yo, where are the people that look like me? Why don't the instructors look like me, sound like me? So Kemetic yoga, not a bias. It just is what it is. That's my go-to. That's my foundation.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, it's not necessarily a discouraging factor. The other the other fashions of yoga, it's not necessarily a discouraging factor. It's more so what you're true to.
Right.
What you're able to ground yourself into, like you said. You know what I'm saying? You're more so able to ground yourself into the Kemetic.
Yes.
Kemetic, yeah.
Forgive me. But your ability to ground yourself within the Kemetic, you know what I'm saying, yoga techniques. And that's just what it is. So we applaud you. You get what I'm saying? For your ability to continue progressing within your fashion of yoga. You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. Just to continue, let's dive in. What has always been a dream goal for you practicing yoga, personally or socially?
Ooh. Let's see.
Talk about it.
So I'm not even going to be corny and be like, I have no purpose in doing this and there's no... I look at it, at Kemetic yoga, as a journey. Like, life is a journey. Everybody has goals, everybody has like ultimate wants and needs, but every time I teach a class or every time I do Kemetic yoga, I'm learning something totally differently about myself. So it's always shifting me in another direction. And it's like, oh, now I have this perspective. I'm going to go this way. So I try not to keep preconceived ideas about, I want to reach right there. It's almost like climbing a mountain. It's like, okay, I want to reach the top of Mount Everest and I want to be right there. But once you're climbing it, it's like, oh, well, look at this, look at this. So it's different. It's a journey. It's a beautiful pathway of how you want to get to where you're going, but also realizing that you have to enjoy your journey while you're on it. So for me right now, Kemetic yoga is a beautiful practice, again, where I'm able to connect to myself and other people, my ancestors. It's a beautiful spiritual experience, but I don't have a absolute, yes, this is where I want to be with Kemetic yoga. I know I want to help heal people. I want to help heal myself, but that's all that I really have for myself and my experience right now.
Sounds like you loving the process. Forgive me, Breezy, because you got it right after this. It sounds like you loving the process just as much as you loving the result.
Yeah.
Right on.
I love it.
I definitely want to ask you, what was your biggest challenges during your journey and how you overcome?
So
that's an amazing question as well.
Being authentic with myself. A lot of people I think a lot of yoga instructors, they're worried about having this image of, I can do yoga, come to me, you can trust me, everything is good, everything is peaceful. But really being authentic with myself and in my practice, like, am I even practicing every day, but I teach classes? So I had to check myself on the hypocrisy, because that wasn't cool at all. I had to hold myself accountable, and that was really, really challenging. And it still is a challenge from time to time, where it's like, dang, I gotta get up, I gotta teach class. How am I going to promote these classes, or how am I going to get this class out here? So all of that is a challenge for myself, and it has been a challenge, but we're getting through it. It is what it is.
That's amazing. I definitely want to ask you, so you spoke about your ancestors, and I always tell people all the time, like, you don't know the next 10 minutes where life is going to be, so it really doesn't matter. Also, just living in the present is the most important thing, because our past happened 20 minutes ago happened, so we can rely on that, you know. So that's why I really agree with you with just relying on our ancestors. But I definitely want to ask and specify, can you define living in the moment?
Being in the moment. So realizing that there's nothing behind you, there's nothing ahead. You just have to be here. A lot of times people are like, oh, you always take the present for granted. And it's true. People aren't living their present lives. They're always worried about what's happening at work, or, oh shoot, I have to be here for this time. Just like, it's okay. So I know I'm in the present when I am feeling grounded. I'm slowing down. When I slow down, I have so much time in the world. It's crazy. me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm content and I'm peaceful and I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's happening is happening and I'm enjoying it while it's happening.
It's blissful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. When you said slowing down, like pre-COVID, you go in the city, you see everybody. Nobody is slowing down. Everybody's fast, mental spider web of thoughts and actions. So there's never the time, like you said before, just taking the 30 seconds of a breather and realizing where you're at.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And detaching yourself
Yeah.
from everything going on, but living in yourself,
That's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, that's fire. Yeah.
It's tough, but it's hard to get that peak. It's hard to get to that goal because a lot of people don't know. So I do want to ask you, what practices of meditation, yoga, that can be immature to someone that they could learn to better themselves, to live in the moment?
So I would just say start with your breath before you even try to get into these crazy positions and poses and all that good stuff. When you wake up, it's just as simple as focusing on your breath. Where are you breathing? So a lot of the times in my classes, I teach how to breathe from your diaphragm. So we're not up here with it. We're down here, which is a very sacred space. For women, it's your womb space. That's where we cultivate a lot of energy. For men, that's also a great space because this is your solar plexus area. Again, energy. So when you wake up, focus on your breath for a good 30 seconds or 5 minutes. Find 5-minute meditations online that will be guided. You don't have to sit there in silence all the time. So it's just being able to check in with yourself. Even if that looks like breathing, or even if that looks like sketching something in the AM, or just writing your thoughts in the AM. Take the time for yourself.
Good question. Just to spin it real fast. Can you correlate that? Well, not even can you. Would you agree that can be correlated to like what is that, affirmations?
Yeah.
Like when you're getting up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? You checking in with yourself, you know what I'm saying? You're making sure you 10 toes down and everything, you know what I'm saying? Would you consider that affirmations?
You can do that. Everybody has their own ritual. Everybody has their own sauce, their own swag. So it's gonna look different.
Yeah.
There's no specific recipe. There's no you have to breathe this amount of minutes and do this stretch. What works for you? And that's why in ancient Kemetic proverb, know thyself. That is why we're here, to know ourselves. And if you can't wake up in the AM and say, yo, I don't know why I feel this way, or yo, I want to get up and do XYZ, but I don't know how to get to it. Well, how do you not know? And you've been living with yourself for 10, 20, 30 plus years. Yeah. Check in with yourself. Find ways in which you can connect to yourself.
So would you say people in the Black community don't know themselves?
Sometimes.
But why do you feel like, because I feel like when it comes to just being happy, we as Black people duplicate others people's happiness instead of working on ourselves. So what is ways that we can find our inner self?
Look at where you come from. I always say you come from, I know I come from greatness.
Right on. I
come from an abundance of beautiful women who have opened up their own stores, specifically laundromats, in South Carolina, Charleston. I've come from women who have been seamstress, they've been chefs, men who know how to be, craft beautiful things and cabinets. I come from a beautiful, abundant, let's just say dynasty of family, of traditions, of culture that I am aligned with and that I am able to apply to my current day situations or my life. So it's like the Sankoop thing, where you look back to know where you come from, and then you look ahead so that you know where you're going, and then you're in the present moment to say, okay, I'm here. This is how I'm moving. So to use the support around you to know where you come from, that it starts there. Knowing where you come from, and then checking in with yourself, and then moving forward to say, okay, this is where I'm going. So a lot of people who are confused, like, look at where you are, look at your environment, look at the foods that you're eating, look at the people that you talk to, look at the music that you listen to. Does it really resonate with where you come from?
Right on.
Absolutely. And forgive me, guys, for playing the devil's advocate, but it's just more so because is everything is very situational. Because you got to understand, not everybody has that privilege.
Ah.
So at the same time, hear me out. Not to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's more so how can you expect someone to not do certain things when they don't have access to certain things? You know what I'm saying? How can you expect them to appreciate something when they don't even know what that shit is like?
Right. So if you want to go into the conversation of like yoga classes, not everybody has access to yoga classes. Is that kind of where you're going with that?
I think
Or
more
just-
so what he's saying is not everybody has a background of excellence. How we all do.
Okay.
People don't know their unlimited potential.
Okay.
So it's hard to find that. And I think going back to what you're saying, you kind of said it for me, is going back. Like I tell people all the time, Black people won't make progress. We gonna make progress regardless. That's just who we are.
Right.
We adapt. But we won't understand and know progress and get there until we understand where we came from.
Right.
So let's say if the normal person doesn't and is not aware of or doesn't have a family of excellence or whatever it is, if they result back to history, if they result back to astronomy, even yoga, the hieroglyphics that they seen of excellence of Black people, doing well things, then they will understand their worth.
Right.
But it's hard.
You don't have to necessarily, like all the things I listen, your family don't have to do that, but to realize your environment. You brought up the universe, the stars, right?
Right.
Abundance, galore, beautiful. We take the clouds and the sun and the air for granted. But look at how vast, how infinite that is. You think you're here because you're not that? All of this is just a reflection of who we are, what's within us.
You about to speak the African truth. You about to go there.
So it's like, it doesn't matter if it's like a physical, tangible thing. It's the fact that you know that you have a spirit within you that is capable of many things. That's when you check in with yourself and you know yourself. You realize that you are capable of so much. Your mind is so powerful. You can get anything you want because why? You come from an infinite spirit. Because why? When you look up at the sun, it always comes up every day. It shines. It gives us nutrients. So you don't think you're doing the same thing for that person? Your melanin, it has nutrients in it. It has abundance of beautiful crystals and greatness in it. So you think all of this around you is not you. So when you say, oh, I don't come from that, yes, you do. You just have to open up your eyes and realize who you are and what you're surrounded by. Because you're greatness. You are greatness.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. That's amazing. During COVID, pre-COVID, matter of fact, you know how people was more so moving up and about and everything, and COVID hit, everybody became very stagnant. You get what I'm saying? How were you? Well, not even just how were you, but would you agree because of COVID and people's current unhealthy activities already, with that meshed, would you agree that people became more stressed during like COVID times and everything because they're just at home, they're eating unhealthy, they're worrying about the bills, they're worrying about this, you get what I'm saying? They don't have access to yoga probably.
True.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody to tell them to just breathe.
Oh no.
Take your time.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you agree that correlates?
So when we look at COVID and all of us are in our houses, we can look at it from the perspective of everybody's stagnant. We're not eating right. We're not watching the good things. We have to just be in prison, if you will. But then another perspective that I have about that is just being with yourself and just being content with your situations. What have you been ignoring this whole time that has been beating down your door, or talking to your body, or talking within you to say, yo, quit that job, that's not for you, or yo, you know that food don't make you feel right, or you know that you should be spending more time with your kids, or you know that you should have rituals and just doings to heal yourself. Like, you've been ignoring yourself. So when you're sitting in one place and it's like, yo, why am I it's because you've been ignoring yourself and the situations around you this whole time. So taking this time to just sit down and relax and be with yourselves. A lot of the times we can avoid ourselves just through our work, just through our kids, just through our families, our clothes, whatever. But now we finally had like a year to just sit down and say, yo, this is what I truly want to do, or this is who I truly am. and it's a beautiful experience. It was painful. It was. A lot of lives were lost. A lot of jobs were lost. A lot of money and income and trying to figure it out, and stress and survival mode was happening, but still something beautiful came out of it, because you see entrepreneurs coming out the woodworks left and right. And then all of a sudden there's a sense of community, and then all of a sudden there's a sense of self. Like, oh shoot, I can actually do this.
Facts.
Right
So,
on.
that's all that I have to say about that.
No, that's facts. That's facts.
Yeah, right on. I definitely agree with you. I feel like COVID put a lot of people through life of turmoil.
Yes.
And I say this all the time, you know, we go through things, but we know we have to learn how to grow through it. And I feel like when it comes to just looking over the last year, you know, a lot of people were stagnant. And the best ways to just avoid it is habit creation, like those affirmations, like doing certain things to avoid the things that you've been avoiding. So how has COVID affected you while you was in your element?
Ooh, one, I'm always on the go. I'm like, I love traveling. I love doing this. I'm all over the place.
You said you ain't gonna catch me on the spot.
That part. So when I had to leave my job, which allowed me to travel up and down the Mid-Atlantic region as a children's theater performer, there was a moment where I was back in my grandparents' house, and I was like, oh my God, I'm back to square one. I literally am living with two older people who are slower than me, if you will. I'm always on the go, and they're very relaxed, they're retired, they're chilling. And I realized that this was supposed to happen because I'm always on the go, I'm always There is a lot of activity in inactivity. You can do so much by just settling down. All these paradoxes are crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's so true. I personally needed to slow down. 21, 22 years old, halfway done paying off my student loans, and then I was traveling all over the place, and still there was a part of me that I was ignoring. And that part was, one, you need to work on self-esteem, your confidence. You have too many people around you who are not serving you and your purpose. You are carrying them like heavy baggage. You need to let them go. So a lot of people got the big chop. I cut off my hair, got the big chop. It was just a cleansing, renewal experience.
Amazing.
For me personally, yeah.
More power.
More power to you for definitely taking control what you can.
Yes.
And applying that, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that because, like I said, like Brian says all the time, you know, we hijacked by so many things. Life is so much. It's a spider web of so many different things, and we just gotta just take our time. But you spoke about greatness. Unlimited potential, so we applaud you for that. So we just want to say thank you for coming out.
Really quick, we appreciate you. So bask in your t-shirt.
Yes,
So yeah, we got a
Bask in it. Bask in it.
But look, before we go in,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to.
we gotta tap in. We gotta tap in. So Still Sharpn Steel presents Let's Rap. Once again, Still Sharpn Steel presents Let's Rap.
Let's do
5
it.
words.
Let's do it.
We're going to tap into any. Let's see what she's going to do. So the 5 words right here, we're going to tap in. All right.
Tap in, let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Hold up. Get that energy. Breathe in love. Feel that energy. You know what? I'ma need you to open up your third eye. Take a stretch, take a breath. Feel the energy. Feel the energy. Roll over me. And I gotta go. Cause it's the AM. Gotta go. Morning rush. Gotta go. I'm not trying to rush, but energy, what we doing? Energy, I don't wanna rush the energy, but you know you love me. I just wanna see your feet, put your fingers to your feet, stretch for the me, come back up and stretch.
Yeah,
I don't know.
let's go. That was good.
She turned down. Oh man,
Talk about
we
it.
just want to say we appreciate you. Before we get out of here and before we tap in, we're gonna ask a couple of questions just to ground everything up, conclude everything. I just want to ask you last question. Us as black people, why do you believe that we as black folks medicate before we meditate?
And I would say meditation is your So many times we find or try to find tangible things outside of ourselves to help us, but we forget about this part, like ourselves the whole time. We're here for a reason. Use the tools that you already have to help yourself before you go out and say, I want to go shopping, I want to go buy these clothes, or I want to emotionally eat. Check it with yourself, and that's it.
So, listen, for myself, I just want to, of course, once again, commend you.
Thank you.
All right, you're amazing.
Wonderful, so very incredible.
Amazing. So, as far as my question, I was curious to know. I was hoping, matter of fact, if you could share with the people, what are some ideas you were looking to start manifesting in the near future?
I'm manifesting wealth for myself so that I'm able to, whether that be buy or invest in more hours for Kemetic yoga, or try out herbalist courses, or just find ways to heal myself so that I can heal other people. So to sum that all up, I am manifesting wealth to help myself, to help heal others.
I love that.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Before we get out of here, let the people know, let the world, let the melanated people know where to find you.
Yes.
Mondays,
Let them know
social
again.
media, tap in.
Follow me on Instagram at Oddless, ODDLESSS, Kemetic Yoga Instructor. Check me out every Mondays at 6:30 at And Yoga Studios. Come get a beautiful stretch. Check in with yourself. Love yourself. And I hope to see you soon.
Oddless and Yoga Studio,
Yes.
Monday, 6:30. Get your mind right.
Get your mind right. Still sharp and still, we out of here, y'all.
Love is love.